Good morning, everybody. We're going to be making some chicken soup today. Get some of these leftover pieces of onion, and I'm going to get another one out of the cabinet here. People have been asking me, when are you going to start making soup in this cold weather? Well, people don't realize I'm in Texas. We're still wearing shorts in Texas because it's still like in high 70s, mid 80s to high 80s here in Texas. So winter is not quite hit yet. It's been getting down in the 40s and 50s at night, but you know, that's just good sleeping weather that you don't have to turn your air conditioner on. So I don't think anybody's been complaining about that. Go ahead and get that pot hot. I'm going to go ahead and fix it in this because this is the one I've had handy to the stove. I had been cooking collards. So I'm going to just go ahead and put my soup in there. I mean, I'm not going to have that pot full of soup, but you might be able to see what I'm doing a little bit better in this pot. You know what? I may not even need that onion I just peeled. I think what I've got here is probably going to be enough. Yeah, I think that's going to be enough. I'll just put this onion away for later. But I've got about a half of a good size onion here, or maybe a whole small onion. Because like I said, I'm not going to fix a whole bunch of soup. I am going to put in just a little bit of garlic. I'll go ahead and brown that a little bit first. Yeah, it's kind of chilly in the mornings here right now. But I've turned my little fireplace on 2 mornings. I haven't had it on this morning. So it's been pretty comfortable in here. Just a little chilly, not bad, not enough to turn the heat on. But I want to saute this and get it going. We'll, saute the onion just a little bit before I put the garlic in because I don't want my garlic to burn. when you saute your onion before, you know, that you add to a soup or anything else, first, it brings out a lot more flavor in your onion, I found. I gotta fix me another cup of coffee. I got some made over here. If I don't burn the kitchen down with the coffee pot. Oh, creamer. I gotta get my creamer. I like 2 helpings or 2 scoops of creamer in my coffee. And this is, again, it's a Hawaiian coffee. It's a gourmet blend that April sent me from Hawaii. Go ahead and turn that off. Maybe I won't set anything on fire over there. Yeah, this is the right time of year to start thinking about soup. And I didn't realize, you know, I'm thinking because I'm in Texas and it's still warm here, that it's still warm everywhere. But a lot of my subscribers have been saying that, oh, it's in the 30s here during the day, or it doesn't get above 40. You need to start making soup. We need soup to warm us up. So I said, well, yeah, I guess I can start making soup. Put in a little bit of this garlic, maybe about a spoonful. Onion on the table, on the stove. But how are y'all doing this Sunday morning? Yeah, this is Sunday morning that I'm cooking my soup. I'm going to have this for lunch today. And for dinner. But you won't see this video till tomorrow, which will be Monday. Okay, now I'm going to start putting in some water. Get something to get water in. All those onion scraps in my container right here so I can put that out in the compost. Now, I got the remains of my roasted here chicken. And I'm just going to drop my carcass right in there. Right along with the wings and a few of the other pieces. Because you need to cook your bones. You need to cook them real good. Get all that bone broth out of there. That makes some really good soup. And you got drippings down in the bag, which are cold now. And what I do is kind of scrape the bottom of the bag to get all those drippings. I mean, you don't want to throw that away. That's some good drippings that goes in your soup that came out of that chicken. Well, I guess I can do this number. Just dump it in there. Get that so I can just put it in the garbage. Put in another jar of water. Get my cup of coffee out of the way. But we're just going to cook this until basically what meat is in there falls off the bone. I'm just cutting the ends off of my celery. I just lost a piece of celery down in the stove. But I'm going to go ahead and put my celery in now. Because we're not really cooking the chicken. We're just trying to get it hot and cook it enough so the bones, you know, the meat, what little bit of meat that's on there will fall off. And you'll be surprised, there's a lot more meat in there still on that chicken carcass than what you think. I am going to add potatoes. We can go ahead and get some of those and peel them maybe. All of these are pretty big potatoes. have another small one or two in this other bag. Yeah, that's kind of a small one right there. And I can always peel another one, I think, if, you know, I need more. But I'm going to start out with 2. And I'm just going to kind of cube them up. I've had this steel knife forever. It is a really good knife. It stays sharp. Don't even remember where it was bought. It was gotten so many years ago. That's probably going to be enough. 2 potatoes, I think. And let's see, I've got a can of peas and carrots already cooked, but I'm not going to add these yet. I'll wait until my chicken is done. I'll basically add my peas and carrots last because they're already cooked and they're in the can. So I'll add that toward the last of the cooking time. We'll put my potatoes in water. That way they don't turn dark on me. For those of you that are just starting to cook, if you're going to leave your potatoes sitting on the counter after you cut them and peel them for very long, submerge them under water, cold water, and just keep them in the water until you get ready to cook. Put the potatoes in the recipe, and then you just drain the potatoes off and put them in your your recipe. That keeps your potatoes from turning dark on you. Have some coffee with me. Oh, that hits the spot. So now I'm just going to pause the camera while this cooks, because it's going to take it maybe 30-45 minutes or so to get, just to cook it enough for the meat to fall off the bones, and then we'll bring you back. Well, I made it back. I've got my chicken out here cooling. It's still smoking because it's still pretty hot. But I'm hoping it's cool enough for me to work with. And I'm just going to be picking the meat right off of the bone and throwing it in my pot. But what we can do is drain our potatoes and put our potatoes in there and let them be cooking at the same time that we pick our chicken off of the bones. Because you want all those little pieces of meat off of the bone. I mean, that's what makes your chicken soup right there. And I could have cooked that just a little bit more, but I think it's good enough. This way you just get those little pieces of chicken off of that bone and throw it right in your pot. And I think homemade chicken soup has a lot more chicken in it than any store-bought soup. Whoop! Landed on my stove, y'all. I mean, even the chicken necks have a lot more meat than what you think. That's got a little bone. Yeah, just be careful you don't put a bone in there, because you don't want to be eating the bones. And it'll take a minute or two for that pot to heat back up. I mean, people don't realize there's quite a bit of meat even just on a chicken wing. I mean, look at all these hot wings people buy. There's quite a bit of meat on a hot wing. And that's the same way with these little wings here. Quite a bit of meat on there. You know, most people would just throw their chicken carcass away. Whatever chicken they didn't eat went in the garbage. But you don't do that. You throw your chicken carcass and whatever, like chicken wings and the chicken back and all that, you put in your pot and cook it more, and that makes your soup. or any part of the chicken you want to put in there. And I know a lot of you know how to cook. You probably know how to cook better than me. But my videos are for some people that don't, maybe you're just starting out cooking. Or maybe just some old timers that want to watch a cooking recipe and see if they can get any new ideas. You know, get some new ideas to add to the recipes they already make. I mean, there is a lot of meat on this chicken carcass that I've got left here. And some people say, well, I just dump my pot in a strainer and strain all that stuff out of the pot. I don't do that because I want a lot of those little tidbits to stay in my soup. I don't want to strain all the good pieces that you would get by doing that. I want to keep them in my soup. Now the fat, the gristle, stuff like that, no, I don't want any of that in my soup. But all these other little tidbits are real good. So I just picked the chicken pieces out. As far as how much chicken meat I've got here, I've got enough to make a lot more soup than what I'm making. But I don't want to make a ton of soup. I still don't have room in my freezer to put anything really. So I've been trying just to cook what I think I can eat in maybe a week's time. I'm dropping it in the floor. I'll have to remember it's down there so I don't step on it. I mean, some people today wouldn't even take the time to do this. But you know what? The way the prices on food are now, you got to stretch your food all you can. Got to make your dollars count. But this will save you time. Go ahead and take your chicken out of the pot and then start deboning it and throwing it back in the pot as you debone it while your potatoes are cooking. Yeah, and you got to get your hands in it. No way around it if you're going to pick the meat off of any kind of a bone. And I think I pretty well got that. And I don't think I need my cutting board out here anymore. I've got to remember to fish that potato out from under the top of the stove. Where is my opener? And I'm going to add these peas and carrots, and I'm not even going to drain the liquid out. I'm going to put it right in the pot. I'm going to add a little bit of garlic powder. I mean, I already put garlic in there, but I'm adding a little bit more. I'm going to add chicken bouillon just to give it a little bit of a kick. About a level tablespoon. Didn't quite get it level. And that bouillon has salt in it, so I'm not going to add salt at this point. I'm going to put a little bit of just plain onion powder. And I know I've got onions in there, but putting the onion powder just adds a little bit of boost to the onions. And you can add that, you know, as you like it. I'm going to put a little bit of pepper. Black pepper. I like black pepper in my food. And then we're going to stir it a little bit. Looking pretty good, isn't it? And you can turn it up. I thought I saw a bone. A little bitty bone. Yeah, as you're stirring it, you can kind of check again through your mixture to make sure you got all the bones out. I think that's a little bone right there. Because you don't want surprises. When you go to eat your chicken soup, you don't want bones in it. And sometimes you miss the little tiny bones that might get in there. Now, I got to do a taste test for the seasoning. See if I need to add anything. That is good, y'all. That is good, good, good. Doesn't that look good in there? Fresh made chicken soup. Get this camera right. And I don't like it that it cuts my head off. A lot of people fuss at me and they say, well, we want to see you in the video too. We don't want to just see your cooking. It's kind of hard to try to show you everything I'm doing. And then, oh, let's see. And you know, I don't like a lot of cream or milk in my food because I'm allergic to it. But just a little bit doesn't bother me too bad. And these potatoes cook pretty fast. They're almost done now. Oh, me. Let's see what I can do. My creaking floor. I put a tablespoon of flour, and you can put more or less depending on how much soup that you make. I'm just going to start off with a tablespoon, and I am going to dissolve the flour in this water. It takes a little bit, you know, to get it dissolved, but it'll dissolve. And then make sure your potatoes are done. Because most of them are done, but some of them aren't quite done. You don't want to overcook your potatoes because these are the white potatoes and it doesn't take long for them to cook. And if you cook them too much, they fall apart. Now what I'm going to do, I got some heavy cream. And like I said, I'm not going to put much in there because I am allergic to it if I eat too much of it. But a little bit, I think will be okay. About a 1/4 cup of heavy cream. And I'm going to add my tablespoon of flour that I had diluted down. And that thickens the soup up a little bit. This is going to basically turn my soup into like a cream chicken soup. And if you find that it thickens too much, you can always add water. Or you can add more cream. I'm not going to add any more cream because I want to be able to eat my soup. And if I put any more than that in there, I'm not going to be able to eat it. So, I think you can still see some of it. Maybe if I raise my, let's see, raise it up just a little bit more. Maybe that'll work. That might help. Yeah, you can see it a little bit better. But just cook it a little bit until it starts thickening up. I may have to add more flour, I don't know. But I definitely don't want to add any more milk. You can add as much of the heavy cream as you would like, if you're not allergic to it. But if I get too much of that heavy cream or whole milk or anything like that in my stomach, I'm going to throw up. And I don't want that to happen. This is how you turn your chicken soup. You can either leave it just like it was. You don't have to add the flour or the heavy cream. But if you want a creamy chicken vegetable soup, this is the way you can do it. Otherwise, you can leave it without the milk, without the flour, and it's just chicken vegetable soup. The camera's crooked. But yeah, we just need to cook it a little bit more at a boil, a low boil. Because you want that little bit of flour to cook. Might add just a tiny bit more. I added about another half a tablespoon. Now we're going to cook that until that other flour that I just added in there cooks. I mean, just add a little bit of flour at a time. If it doesn't get thick enough, add more flour. If it gets too thick, just add a little bit more heavy cream or add water. But if you're like me and you can't tolerate the heavy cream, just don't put that much in there. A quarter of a cup is plenty for me. I don't think I could tolerate any more than that. I like to serve my chicken soup with crackers. I usually just get the little round oyster crackers or Sautéings, either one. Okay, it's starting to thicken up some. Like I said, it takes a few more minutes to thicken it up. And as it cools down, it'll thicken up just a tiny bit. So if you go to reheat it, you may have to add a little bit more milk, or you may have to add a little bit more water to kind of loosen it. But I think it's going to come out good. As soon as it thickens up just a tiny bit more. I had my lid over here. I don't need it over here. I scrape the edges of my pot because you always get some of the soup that's sticking to it. It smells wonderful, y'all. And yeah, I always put my hair up when I'm cooking because I don't like my hair hanging down, getting in my food, and that type of thing. I know a lot of people try to look pretty and do their hair all up and all that when they're cooking, but I don't do that. I always want my hair pulled back or pulled up in a bun or something so I don't get hair in my food. Prettiness can come at another time. And I'm going to go ahead and turn that off. And I'm going to ladle up some of it in my bowl. Because I don't have to have it real creamy. Because it will thicken up as it cools off. A little bit. Look at that, y'all. Oh my goodness. And you know it's too hot to eat right this minute. But don't that look good? Y'all fix you some chicken soup for the soul. I want to taste some of it, but it's too hot. Y'all, I'll burn my mouth. Y'all open wide. That's some hot soup right there. You can't really see it. The light's not good up there. Dear Lord, bless this food I'm about to eat. Bless all the YouTubers out there that are sick with illnesses or whatever ailments they might have. Bless their week. Amen. Y'all, that is so good. I got a little bone. That's one that got by me. Look at that spoonful of soup right there. Let's look at that. That is some good eating right there. So simple. With lots of chicken. I mean, there was a lot of chicken on that chicken carcass. And like I said, most people throw that away. They never think about throwing it in the pot cooking it a little bit more and getting all those little pieces of chicken off and put it in the pot and make soup. How much chicken do you get in soup in a can when you buy it? Not much. Get a lot more when in the soup you make. Y'all, that finger licking good. If I ate my soup with my fingers, yeah, it would be finger licking good. And I like my crackers with it. Y'all. I'm going to end my video because I'm going to sit down here and eat my lunch. It's lunchtime, and I just got my chicken soup done in time. So I'm going to sit down and eat because I haven't eaten breakfast yet. So this is going to be my lunch and my breakfast and maybe my supper too. We'll talk at you later. See you later. Bye now. Love y'all.